Hi guys, welcome to my channel, my video. If you just clicked on this video, then thanks for clicking on my video. Hopefully you'll stick it out to the end. Basically the reason why I'm making this video is because big shout out to one of my subscribers called Pete James. Hi Pete. He interacted with me. He commented on one of my videos, and he said he liked my video, and he also asked me quite respectfully how old I was. Now the thing is, it got me to thinking, because I knew where it was coming from. Basically, you know, how old are you to be going out stealth camping, to be going out in the woods and setting up camp, or in a field or anywhere, because the obvious thing that we all think of when you go out camping is obviously your own safety. So I've bullet pointed a few things to talk about in regards to age. I am 62 years of age, 62 years young, as they say. Now the thing is, you think to yourself, well, at 62, what are the risks? But then again, what are the risks at any age for going out camping? Well, at any age, the risk you have when you go out camping could be being attacked, having an accident, or having a health issue. These are very real risks, and if we was in a work environment, you'd have to assess these risks by law. So I'm going to run through them quickly. Being attacked. You're in your tent, you're outside your tent, you're camping. Whatever the situation will be, you could be attacked. There are two things that could attack you. One is a human, and the other one is an animal. So if we take the first one I've mentioned, which is being attacked by humans, that situation could come about at any point in your life. You could be attacked by another human being for whatever reason. It could be out the blue. You could be walking down the street and someone jumps on your back. It happens. It's in the news all the time of people being attacked on the street. So the thing is, what you've got to do, in my opinion, and I'm no expert, so you know, take what I'm saying just as my opinion. Now the thing is, at 62, can you defend yourself against one or more people? I've just drawn my piece of paper. Defend myself, I can't even hold a piece of paper. Right, so getting back to the point, you know, can you defend yourself against another human being if somebody attacks you? Well, that's all down to the individual. Two things come into play. One, how far are you prepared to go to defend yourself? All the way, or are you going to stop at some point? And two is your health, is your physical ability to defend yourself, to fight, to parry off an attack. I mean, what if they come at you with a knife? Somebody comes at you with a knife, best defense, run like fuck. Just run. Get away from it. Get as far away from a knife as you possibly can. But, you know, I mean, most people carry a knife of some sort, whether it's that or a Swiss Army knife when they go camping or bush crafting. So you don't want to get into any altercation with anybody at any time, if at all possible. So avoidance is always, you know, that's the key thing. Avoid confrontation at all times unless you have no other choice. So if you're camping, or if I'm camping, this is how I would deal with it. If I'm camping, I would keep in mind whether where I'm camping there are going to be other people about, and if so, are they going to be like-minded campers, or are they going to be just run-of-the-mill people, youths or whatever, hanging about? And so, you know, you've just got to think to yourself, well, if I'm stealth camping, which is what I do, and you're in the middle of a wood or trees, or you're on the other side of a fence, or somewhere you shouldn't be, then what are the chances of, let's say, for example, a group of youths, you know, going there to mess about, have a laugh, drink some beer, smoke some dope, whatever, you know. I mean, I'm not saying all youths do that, but, you know, there could be any number of reasons why they go there. So if you're in an area where there is a possibility of youths coming, then you've got to bear that in mind. So you have to take responsibility for yourself, in that you don't put yourself in a position in the first place that could bring about an altercation. So the thing is, the more remote the better from that aspect. You know, if you're up on the top of the moors, on the top of a mountain or wherever, there's not a chance of Billy Shit and his mates all coming up with a couple of cans and a barbecue to start a fire, but it does happen. So you've got to bear that in mind. So it's all about pre-planning your trip, your camp, and also pre-planning where you're going to camp, the spot you're going to camp. Are you going to be spotted from the road? Are you going to be seen? Is there anybody who's going to object to you camping? That's the other thing. If there is somebody, a warden, a ranger, or a farmer, a group of people, anybody, dog walker, that objects to you camping in that area that you've chosen, well then you've got a risk from that. So it's far better not to be seen, to be discreet, to camp on the opposite side of the hill, where nobody can see you. What's the chances of somebody driving up, stopping and coming up saying, "What are you doing here?" if they can't see you? They don't know you're there. So you know, take from that whatever is useful for you, just as a thought. But as I say, I'm no expert. I'm just thinking from my point of view. Second risk of attack from animals. Well, I live in the UK, in the northwest, and the animals that may attack are foxes, badgers, wild dogs. Not that there are many wild dogs, but a loose or stray dog. Rats. Rats carry wheels disease, you know. So there's a very real risk just from rats. They're not particularly known to bite people or attack people. They usually defend themselves when cornered. Never corner a rat, that's what they say. But that probably comes from a point of fact that a lot of people that work in the rat catching profession may be able to correct me on this. Put it down in the comments if you would, please. But usually, if you corner a rat, they'll scurry past you, or if they can't scurry through your legs or past your legs, I've been known to jump over your shoulder, and people say, "Oh, it attacks you." It doesn't. It's just trying to get away. It just wants to get away. This rat doesn't want this 5'7" human to tread on him or attack him or catch him. He just wants to get away. He's just an animal. But you know, risk from bears, grizzlies, you know, you're not going to get that in the UK. We do have wild stags up in the Highlands, and there have been known to be certain species of wild cat, feral cats, which are about. And we've also got adders, snakes. There's a few spiders which are venomous, but not to the point where they would kill you. So attack from animals, minimal. The chances are they're more scared of you than you are of them. So from that, it sort of makes you more aware of the risk, and it's also a comforting thing to know that when you're in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, that some wild animal isn't going to jump on you. Although if you're in a bivy bag or you're in a tent, you are vulnerable because you can't see outside, you can't see through the tent unless you leave the door open. And in most situations, you don't actually want to, because you want to keep the flies out, the mozzies out, and you don't want anything to crawl into the tent in the middle of the night, scurrying looking for food. So you want to close yourself off. So that's the attack point of view from my perspective. So then you've got health risks. Now, health risks. What are the health risks? Well, I'm type 2 diabetes. That only means that I've got to monitor my sugar levels and to take tablets. I take a tablet and that helps to keep my blood sugar levels equal. Now, on the other hand, if I was type 1 diabetic, it'd be a different ball game. I'm not saying I would never go camping, because I don't believe that you should restrict yourself any more than you have to. But if you did, I would have to inject myself with insulin, which means I would have to take the insulin with me and a test kit and monitor it as I'm eating. So other health risks might be heart conditions. High blood pressure is a real condition. There would also be arthritis, stuff like that. You know, the ability to actually set camp, to break camp, to climb into a hammock, climb into a tent, you know, these are all things that you have to take into consideration. But it's one of them. You know your own body, you know your own mind and your own body, and it's for you to take that into consideration and for you to form an opinion as to whether or not camping is a good thing or a bad thing. That again, down to the person. And then you've got accident risks. Now the risk of an accident, again, how would you, if you have an accident, you fall, you twist an ankle, break a leg, break an arm, crack ribs, there's all sorts of cut yourself, have a bad cut. There's all sorts of risks associated with an accident while out in the wild, in the woods, the trees, or the fields. So if you are unable to raise the alarm physically, you can't, or you're unable, rather, I'm getting that the wrong way around, you're unable to get to help and you have to raise an alarm. How would you raise an alarm? Well, the first thing is, what I'm recording on now is a phone. So you could use your phone, providing you've got a signal. If you haven't got a signal because you're in such a remote area, well then you're up shit creek without a paddle, because then you've got to raise the alarm. Now the thing is, one of the things I always carry with me is a torch. This particular torch is one I got off eBay. It's one of these that extends, and when you extend the lens cover, it narrows the beam or opens the beam up you know. Now the thing is with these, when you switch it on, I'm not going to shine it directly at the camera. It's very, very bright. If you're walking through the woods, this thing lights everything up. If you narrow it down, it narrows right the way down to a 4-inch square and that's about 3 foot away. So you open it up and it makes a big beam. Now the next one is lower, the next one is lower still, and then you go into the signaling. Now the thing is, this pulses, and the next one after that pulses slower. Can you see the signal? S O S. So having a torch with the ability to do that is a help. It's not the be all and end all. It's not guaranteed to pull you out of the crap. But these have edges on them. You see the serrated edge. Again, if you are attacked by a person or an animal, this is something that can be used to defend yourself, because if you was to shine that directly in somebody's eyes, you will not be able to look into that. They will look away. And I'm not advocating this, by the way, but if you do have an attack come at you and you parry the arm or push the arm away, or the reach or whatever, or the kick, and jab, that edge, let's turn it off, that edge there is very sharp, and that type of jab is something that could beat off an attacking dog if you're lying down and that kind of thing. If you stood up, on the other hand, you've only got to shine this at the dog's face, or the fox's face, or whatever animal you feel you're being attacked with, and it would ward it off, hopefully. But there's no guarantee to that. But as I say, you know, short of learning knife fighting, you know, I'm no Steven Seagal, waving these things about is as dangerous as using them, because when you do use these, when you use a knife against an animal or a person, there's always a chance that it can cut you, it can go into you, you can catch yourself and cut yourself. They're very, very dangerous things. So it's not really an option, although it does make you feel better, you know, if you've got a knife in your hand. But unless you really, really train every day and know how to use these, your best bet's leave it well alone, because as a fact, on the street in an urban environment, carrying a knife is not only against the law, but it's a very dangerous thing. 64% of knife wounds are with a knife carried by the victim. That's a fact. So forget about doing kung fu and being Steven Seagal and all the rest of it, because that doesn't work. Not in the real world. In the real world, this is the most useful weapon, your brain. Talk your way and think your way out of it. In fact, prevention is better than a cure. Don't get in that situation in the first place. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Which comes then to the end of this little video, stating that it's you personally who's got to take responsibility for whether or not you feel you have the ability to go camping. If your health or your ability to go and walk for several meters or several miles, depending on how you're going to camp. Whether you're going to camp from a car park to a campsite, or whether you're going to hike for miles, you know, you need to know whether you can do it, whether you're fit enough, whether you have the ability, what your risks are. And it's all just common sense. I'm no expert. You know, it's only stuff that I'm just rattling off my brain and what I know from what I've researched and on the internet, as you do. But yeah, so if you have the ability to pitch a tent, to climb into a sleeping bag, to cook a meal, make a brew, pack back up, take your rubbish with you and leave no trace. If you have the ability to do that, then why not? I don't think age is a restriction. And, you know, short of climbing up mountains, that's a different ball game altogether. So, there you go. That's just my 10 penneth. Make of it what you will, and enjoy your life. Go doing what makes you happy. And if camping makes you happy, then crack on. So thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking on the video. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I'm going to be putting out different videos every week, hopefully. All about camping or my music or just reviewing stuff. So thank you and have fun. Leave no trace of the tracks that you have made.